Some entrepreneurs make products like those that we come to love. Others provide services such as the ones we're all heavily relying on and constantly attached to. And then there are those that enable entrepreneurs to make great products and services. And they do this by creating businesses of their own with the purpose of allocating investing capital into companies that they believe are undervalued and have tremendous potential. They're also called investors. Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway, Ray Dalio of Bridgewater Associates, and Bill Ackman of Pershing Square Capital are among the most influential in the investment industry today. But in recent years, one woman known for her innovative approaches to investing in disruptive technologies have took the investment world by storm.
Cathie Wood has reached cult-like status in recent months. Her big conviction bets in those high-octane areas like Tesla and Bitcoin were seen as bold.
Disruptive and innovative forces in the ETF world today. She's also one of the most successful. Cathie Wood's signature ARK Innovation Fund returned an astounding 148% in 2020. And she says there's still a lot of runway ahead.
We are joined by Cathie Wood, ARK Invest CEO and CIO, who rang the opening bell this morning in recognition of the ARK Innovation ETF, crossing $1 billion in assets under management.
And what a tremendous year it's been for you. You now have over $50 billion in assets under management.
You're having one of the best years in the history of professional money management.
Her name is Cathie Wood. She's the Chief Investment Officer of ARK Invest.
So you may have heard of her, but who is she? What is her background and how did she build her investment empire? Well, please stick around for the next 10 minutes, and in this episode of Chosen, the Entrepreneur series, I'll tell you all about the story of Cathie Wood. Per usual, if you find these stories interesting, inspiring, and or fascinating, please give my videos a like and subscribe. A huge thank you to all of you that have already subscribed and the wonderful, insightful, and thought-provoking discussions you've left in the comment section below. This is only the channel's third video and it looks like we're well on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Thank you, and thank you. Now, without further ado, I present to you the story of Cathie Wood. Catherine Duddy Wood was born in 1955 in Los Angeles, California. She is the eldest child in a family of Irish immigrants. Her father's occupation was an Air Force design engineer, which required him to move from base to base, and the family would follow along. So by the age of 12, Cathie had moved 10 times, spending her childhood in a number of countries, including England, Ireland, and different parts of the US. Her exposure to different environments and experiences fueled her thirst and curiosity as a child, and religion, more specifically Christianity, was deeply rooted in her family. So naturally, Cathie developed a relationship with God at an early age, a relationship she attributes a large part of her later success to.
So I was born with the gift of faith. I really do believe that. It has come very easily to me, though it has evolved and deepened over the years. And as a child, I think I did start to develop a relationship with God the Father and Jesus our Redeemer.
Cathie recalls encountering a number of difficult moments in life where she would turn to her religion and faith as a source of her strength. These moments include the pressure of being the oldest child and having to carry the mantle for the family in attending college, starting her career, moving from the West Coast to New York for work, experiencing the various crashes in the stock market, as well as the hardship she faced during her divorce with her ex-husband. Cathie says during each of these times, her connection with God had deepened.
Each of those times was a time of deepening my faith. I never felt that God was leaving me or deserting me. I felt like I had to hold on a little tighter.
Cathie Wood attended the University of Southern California to study economics, affording tuition through working at supermarkets and restaurants. If it hadn't been for her father's advice though, Cathie would have never studied economics. Instead, she thought about majoring in either geology, astronomy, or engineering. She was grateful for her father's advice because after taking her first economics course in her sophomore year, she believed she had found her passion. She loved learning about how the world works through the lens of macroeconomics. And in her junior year, Cathie met her mentor, economics professor Art Laffer, a world-renowned economist and inventor of the Laffer curve. Though Wood was only an undergraduate at the time, she would take Laffer's graduate-level classes. Impressed by Wood's passion in the subject, Laffer helped her land an internship at an investment firm called Capital Group. And immediately as an intern at Capital Group in 1977, Wood learned the importance of having a long-term view as an investment mindset. She remembers the first project she was put on involved researching and predicting what would happen to the economy after the handover of Hong Kong in 1997, an event that would take place 20 years later from the time of her research. And to this day, Cathie continues to have a long-term mindset, evident in her current investment decisions at ARK, which carries a 5 to 10 year time horizon. After graduating from USC summa cum laude in 1981, Cathie made a life-changing decision to move to New York to work at Jennison Associates, which was the equity investment arm of PGIM. There, she worked a number of different roles, starting as an analyst in equity research to chief economist, portfolio manager, and then becoming managing director, all in the span of 18 years. It was during her time there that she discovered the untapped potential and exponential growth opportunities that lies in disruptive innovation and companies that were overlooked by traditional analysts. Cathie carried this mentality with her even after she left Jennison Associates in 1998 to co-found a hedge fund under the name Tupelo Capital Management, where she managed $800 million in AUM. Although she left shortly after to join AllianceBernstein in the year 2000 as Chief Investment Officer of Global Thematic Strategies, and spent the next 12 years there managing $5 billion in AUM. And when she decided to leave the company at the age of 57, which was close to retirement age for most wealth managers, for Cathie, it was as if her career started all over again.
Well, I started ARK at the age of 57, so it was quite late in my career. I believe my career is starting all over again, though, so I decided to name my company after the Ark of the Covenant because as I was going through that very difficult period, starting in '06, where the market, nothing made sense to me, I started reading the one-year Bible. And then after I would read the passage for the day, I would then just open it up randomly and say, God, speak to me. Just show me what to do. Show me your will. Show me your way. And not every time I did that, but I would say every third or fourth time I did, I would run into the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant being taken into the Israelites, taking the Ark of the Covenant into battle before them, because they believed the presence of God was in the Ark of the Covenant. As I began to get this idea of a firm going and realized that I was fighting this war, I knew I had to name my company ARK for Ark of the Covenant.
Cathie Wood founded her company out of faith. She realized all her career she's been investing in disruptive innovation across various industries, but the industry she believed that calls for disruption was none other than her own, the investment industry. So when ARK was founded, not only did it invest solely on disruptive innovators, Cathie made sure that the way she would run her firm was innovative in itself as well. Instead of hiring employees with a finance background, she hired those coming from a tech background. Current employees were cancer researchers, artificial intelligence experts, gaming engineers, and even sailboat captains. James Wang, now one of Cathie's most trusted analysts, previously had a career at NVIDIA, the computer chip maker. In fact, it was James's assessment of Tesla's AI chip being 4 years ahead of any of its competitors that added to Cathie's bullishness on Tesla stock. James have said, quote, "If we all came from a financial background, we would inevitably have views that are much more similar and more aligned with the current price expectations set by the market, and ARK would likely not be much different than any other investment management firms out there." Unlike other fund managers that closely guard their tactics, Cathie's strategies are all available on ARK's website, providing full transparency, publishing all of its research along with interviews, podcasts, articles, newsletters, white papers, trades, and even its entire investment portfolio on their website. ARK's 38-person team is made up of 30% women, most of them in their 20s, and a quarter of the team is of people of color. The team's diversity in age, ethnicity, gender, and background is what Cathie attributes much of her firm's successes to. Cathie have said, quote, "You're probably not going to find a more diversified group of people. They already have one foot in the new world, and they are extremely creative in terms of figuring out how the world is going to work." The company also adopts the use of an open office space, fostering collaboration and transparency, allowing ideas to freely flow from one team member to another. Cathie and the team at ARK are big on harnessing the power of social media. Social media have changed the way information and messages get communicated today, and Cathie have used it to ARK's advantage. The team uses Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and other forms of social media to spread their word, receive feedback, battle test ideas, ultimately building an entire community passionate about investing and technology. As of the making of this video, ARK has 438,000 followers on Twitter. But the early days was tough. It was filled with hardships and challenges. ARK failed to find funders, and economic growth fell to a 5-year low. During the first 3 years, Cathie had to fund the company entirely with her own wealth, paying her staff directly out of her personal checkings account. But Cathie never saw this as reason to give up because she knew this was God's plan for her.
What we were really doing was encouraging the new creation, God's new creation. We were allocating capital to its highest and best use, transformative technologies that were going to change the world and make it a better place, while the rest of the world started investing in the past, which they thought was safe. Today, the tables are flipped. So we feel like we've done the right thing. It is by God's grace and the power of the Holy Spirit. I will tell you that I moved in this direction.
Surely, her plan had worked out after all. After 3 years into running ARK, it received backing by Resolute Investment Managers in the US and Nikko Asset Management in the Asia Pacific region to help distribute their ETFs. Targeting each of ARK's 5 pillars of disruptive innovation, which are DNA sequencing, robotics, blockchain technology, energy storage, and artificial intelligence, the company launched ARKK, the ARK Innovation ETF, in October of 2014. The ETF focuses on a general combination of ARK's strongest convictions of those disruptive innovators. It's invested in companies like Tesla, Square, Baidu, Spotify, Shopify, Zoom, and more. Last year in 2020, ARKK had a return of 153%. ARKW, the ARK Next Generation Internet ETF, launched on September of 2014, posted an annual return of 157% in the past year. This ETF focuses on internet technologies such as cloud computing and cybersecurity, e-commerce, big data and AI, mobile technology, social platforms, and blockchain. Companies it's invested in, aside from those mentioned in ARKK, include Grayscale Bitcoin Trust BTC, Twitter, and Zillow. ARKQ, the ARK Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, which focuses on autonomous transportation, robotics and automation, 3D printing, energy storage, and space exploration, posted a 107% return in 2020, invested in companies such as JD.com, Alphabet, Teradine, Trimble Inc., and more. ARKF, the ARK FinTech Innovation ETF, focuses on transaction innovations, blockchain technology, risk transformation, frictionless funding platforms, customer-facing platforms, and new intermediaries. 108% return in the past year, and it invests in PayPal, Tencent, Pinterest, and more. And ARKG, the ARK Genomic Revolution ETF, with an astounding 180% year-on-year return in 2020. This ETF invests in companies such as Teladoc, Pacific Biosciences, Exact Sciences, Twist Biosciences, Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, and more. Cathie's sole focus on creative destruction and having no regards for traditional benchmarks have now placed her on Forbes' list of America's self-made women of 2020 and an estimated personal net worth of $250 million US. She's also been named the best investing advice in 2019 from Fortune's experts, Bloomberg's 50 list of people across business, entertainment, finance, politics, technology, and science in 2018, as well as received the Woman in Finance Outstanding Contribution Award from Markets Media in 2016. But awards and accolades aside, Cathie is devoted to giving back to her community. At her high school alma mater in LA, Notre Dame Academy, the Duddy Innovation Institute was established through a generous donation from Cathie Wood in 2018. The Duddy Innovation Institute offers a unique challenge for young women eager to stretch beyond the boundaries of the traditional classroom. And as one can imagine, the Institute's flagship course is Disruptive Innovation. Cathie have even said she's already received questions from students at the Institute that made her rethink a few of her investment positions. She added, some of these teenagers might even end up at ARC. Quote, I would love to bring some of these young people, get them through college and give them a shot. Cathie also has 3 children of her own, Caitlin, Caroline, and Robert. Interestingly, after studying history in college, Caroline is now working for ARC as a marketing associate. Cathie's mostly kept her family and personal life rather private, but in interviews she has said some of her hobbies include reading, exercising, and of course, she is an active member at her local church. Time will tell if Cathie's an investment genius or perhaps a fluke experiencing a streak of lucky investments, but as far as I can tell, she invests in great companies doing great things that help move our world forward. Investing in clean energy, biotech, and other life-changing technologies, as well as ARC's embracement of diversity, are all factors I believe should be applauded. And if we can all agree on anything, it is as inhabitants of Mother Earth, we all just want our world to become a better place. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching this episode of Chosen. Please leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on Cathie Wood and her self-made success story. If you've enjoyed this content, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe and give this video a like and help grow this channel, a channel where I dedicate to the lesser known entrepreneurs of this world. So until we meet again in the next video, I wish you continue to stay safe and healthy in these difficult and challenging times. My name is Martin and you're watching Chosen, the Entrepreneur Series.